In Matthew 25, Jesus tells the story of the 10 virgins. And in this story, what happens is that there's going to be a wedding. And as was the custom of the time, the bride wouldn't go alone, but rather should go accompanied by these bridesmaids. And the Bible says that they would never know when the groom would come. Maybe he could come in the morning. Maybe he could come in the afternoon. Or as was the case this particular time, maybe he could come in the middle of the night. And so these bridesmaids or virgins would carry these little lamps so that they could see their way. The Bible says that these virgins became tired and they became weary and they fell asleep. And then in the middle of the night, the cry goes out, "Here comes the groom. Let the wedding feast begin." And so they prepare themselves, they put their lamps on. And it's at this time where 5 of these virgins discover that they have insufficient oil. And so the first thing they do is go and ask the 5 wise virgins that, "Hey, won't you share some of your oil with us?" But unfortunately, there wasn't enough oil to go around. And so they get told, "Listen, go out and buy yourself some oil. That's the only way that you're going to make it into the wedding feast at this hour." So they rush off to go and do that. And whilst they're doing that, what happens is that the groom comes and everybody, all the invited guests, the door is open for them and they go into the wedding feast. And then after, that door gets shut. And it's too late for these 5 foolish virgins. It's too late. They could find oil, they could rush in, but it was too late. The door was closed. Now, many people will look at the story and say it separates people in the world and people in the church. But that's not true. Because this story separates people in the church. And why do I say that? It's because all of these 10 virgins, they left from the same place. They left with the same purpose in their hearts. They readied themselves. They put on their special garments. They would have fixed their hair. They would have told everyone in their families that, "Hey, we are going to the wedding feast." That's what was in their hearts. That was their purpose. It wasn't between strangers, but it was between people who all wanted to go to the wedding feast. And that's why the story, it separates those in the church. And why does it separate? Because you see, for those who had oil, those 5 virgins, it didn't just happen that they had enough oil. They would have gone out and bought extra oil. They would have gone out and paid that extra price. They would have gone out and prepared themselves early in the morning. They would have had to wake up early to get everything together. They would have had to carry an extra weight walking along this journey just to make sure that they had enough oil. You see, when we don't have enough oil within us, it's a sign that somewhere we are not willing to pay the price. It is one thing to be called a Christian, but it's another thing to be willing to pay a price. God bless you.